So many baseball players think that their fear of failure is something that's special or unique just to them. And I don't think many people realize just how common of an issue this is. And I've always compared it to, when you're a little kid in your room and you're trying to go to sleep, but you open your eyes and you see this like figure in your room, and maybe you think, oh, that's a like monster, or that's something really scary. And you sit there as you're trying to sleep, and you try to go back to sleep, but you just can't. It's scaring you more and more. You're thinking about it. You're making it this really big, scary thing until finally, you get up out of bed, you go over, you check it out, and it just happens to be, a hat that you left out, or a jacket that you left out in a different spot. Or even you turn on the light and now you can see with your own eyes, oh, it's just this thing. It's not a shadow. It's not a monster. It's not anything scary. It's just this. The fear of failure in baseball works the exact same way, right? We like to think about all these scary things that could possibly happen, and our brain works overdrive trying to figure out all these different things of what this thing could be. And ultimately, if we just challenge that illusion, if we challenge our way of thinking, we would realize that, oh, it's really not that big of a deal. So this video is to show you guys how to turn that light on in your brain, just like how you turn the light on in your room when you were a little kid and you see, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I'm here to show you how to turn on the light in your mind and challenge this fear of failure that you guys have. Okay, so let's get really clear on what we're talking about here with the fear of failure. This is not something that makes you soft. This is not something that no one else goes through, right? This is a pretty common thing for baseball players. And it's just, it's your brain running a very specific prediction error. So it's you getting this thought in your head, okay, I'm gonna fail. If I do fail, like these things are gonna happen. So if we get just write these out and I can break this down for you, I think it'll make a lot more sense. So in real life, let's see here. In real life, when you fail in baseball, what are these things, right? These are making errors. This is striking out. If you're a pitcher, this is giving up hits. Okay? And all these things, this could be coach yelling at you. This could be your teammates looking down on you a little bit. All these things, do these things suck? Yes, these things all suck. I'm not telling you that this doesn't suck. These are things that they suck. It's hard to deal with. But are these things catastrophic? Are these things life or death? No, these are things that we can handle. I can show you the right steps. I can show you the ways to handle these things. Okay, so now these are the things that happen in real life. What about the things that happen in your head? So these are in real life. This is objectively what's happening. In your head, what's happening after you make an error? You're probably thinking, I suck, I stink, baseball's no good for me, right? Maybe you're thinking, coach hates me. Thinking that you let your team down, thinking that you let your coach down, your teammates down. Maybe you're thinking something like, oh man, I'm gonna lose my spot, lose playing time, lose PT. What I really want you guys to notice is this gap in the middle here, okay? Between real life, between in your head. This is the illusion gap, right? So we're going from over here on the left. This is what is actually happening. This is what is objectively happening. There's no making this stuff up. This over here is what's happening in your head. And you can see that there is this gap here, this disconnect where our mind makes it out to be worse than it really is, right? This is where tension lives. This is where overthinking lives. This gap here is what is controlling your fear of failure. So our job as baseball players is to shrink this gap, shrink this area down as small as we can, right? And if we can do that, if we can shrink that gap down, then we're closer to what actually happens in real life. Okay, so let's go back to the shadow story for a second. So this photo, you're in bed, you see a shadowy figure off to your left. I want two big takeaways to come from this. The first is that this situation feels so real, and it feels so real that there's a scary shadow there until you turn on that light. And the second thing is that the longer that you look at this and the more that you give it your time and your focus, the bigger, the more powerful, and the scarier it's going to feel. Okay, so let's take this shadow example and go back to the baseball field. So I want you to picture that you're at shortstop. You made an error in your previous game. You booted a ground ball. And as that pitch is being thrown, you're getting ready to play defense, and that shadow comes to your mind. And what that shadow is when you're playing are these negative thoughts. These thoughts of, if I make another error, coach is going to hate me. Everyone in the stands is going to think that I suck. I'll never go and play in college if I can't make a routine play. And what you need to understand is that the same two takeaways are true when you're on the baseball field. The shadow feels extremely, extremely real, but it's not. And the second one is, the more time that you give to these thoughts, the scarier, the more powerful, the stronger they're going to be. They're going to have more of a hold on you. So what we need to realize is we need to turn that light on and challenge these negative thought illusions in our mind, and challenge those things, and realize, okay, coach isn't going to hate me if I make another error. Yeah, he might be upset, he might be pissed off, but he's not going to hate me. One bad error does not define years of hard work, and also you guys aren't defined by one error or one certain play. You know, your identity as a baseball player is much stronger than that one play. So this is the ultimate end goal that we are looking for, is we want you to realize, okay, it's just that jacket, it's just that hat, it's not a scary monster. This is the same result that we're looking to get on the baseball field. Okay, so now I want to show you guys how this fear of failure comes through when you're playing baseball, because maybe it's a little bit difficult for you to see it, like, okay, I understand, I feel this way, but how does this show up? Or maybe you don't think that you have this, and once I go over this, you'll know, okay, I do have a fear of failure. So it always starts with the shadow, right? Which, when we're playing, the shadow is just negative thoughts. So these are the thoughts that I went over earlier. You know, coach is going to hate me. I'm never going to play in college. These negative thoughts, right? And if you listen to enough of these negative thoughts, your body is going to have a reaction to that, okay? Your body's reaction is going to be, your heart rate is going to kick up. Your palms are going to start sweating. Your muscles are going to tighten up. If you tell yourself enough negative things, these things are going to happen. You're not going to be loose. You're not going to be focused on what is happening in the game. Okay, so your body is going to tighten up. You're going to have high heart rate, shallow breathing, all of those things. This is going to lead to tight actions. Okay, so how you're playing on the field is not going to be proper, right? Like, if your heart's racing, if your muscles are tight, it's going to be really hard to play your very best baseball, right? So if you're worried about making a throw from shortstop to first base, your arms are going to be tight. The motion, like, your legs are going to be tight. Your whole motion is not going to feel proper, right? And when our motion doesn't feel proper, that's when bad results happen, okay? Bad results happen. So you're scared of making a throwing error, you make the throwing error. You're scared of missing the ground ball, you miss the ground ball, right? And so when these negative things are happening, just naturally, there's going to be even more negative thoughts. And then we're going to start over here and keep going back down and keep going in this loop. And ultimately, this is going to end up with the yips, which, it's a scary word, I know, it's scary for all of us, but this is how you get the yips, is this negative thought loop. Negative thought loop leads to tight body, leads to tight actions, and you just not playing very well. It leads to you trying to force certain outcomes rather than just letting them happen, which then leads to bad results, which takes us back to more negative thoughts. And it's a really, really nasty loop, guys. Okay, so how do we stop that from happening? That really scary feedback loop, we're going to turn on the light. We're going to get rid of that shadow, right? We're going to get rid of these negative thoughts. And in order to do that, gotta turn on the light, gotta see what's there, right? So, okay, so I'm going to give you guys a 3-step framework here to get out of that feedback loop. So the first one is going to be just spotting the shadow, right? Just understanding that what we are looking at, what we are thinking, is just the shadow in this situation. So this is just general awareness, right? When we're looking at the shadow, it feels super real, it feels powerful, it feels strong, but it's really not real. And so how do we build this awareness? We're gonna ask ourselves 3 questions, okay? First one, is it true? Okay, is my thought true? Is it true that coach is gonna hate you if you make one error? Probably not. Is it true that you're not gonna play in college if you make one error? Also probably not, okay? If it passes this first question, for most things, for most thoughts, honestly, people don't realize how often they're having thoughts that just aren't even true, and they just listen to them just because they're thoughts. It's really strange. Is it true? If it passes that and you say, okay, yes, that is true. The next one, is it helpful? Okay. Is it helpful to think this way? Okay. Is it helpful to tell yourself that you'll never play in college? Is it helpful to your performance to think that everyone in the stands is going to hate you? Again, no, this is not helpful. Another question you can ask, is it kind? Okay. Is it kind to yourself to think these things? If something if something is failing, any one of these 3, okay, that is a shadow. That is a shadow that is not real, okay? And so first thing we're gonna do is just build our awareness in spotting the shadow. Okay, so number two is shrink the story. Okay, so the story that you're telling yourself, we're going to shrink that. The shadow that you're looking at, these thoughts that you're having. Once you know that you're having them, we need to change this. We need to change our perception of what the shadow is. This is the step where we turn on the light, metaphorically, right? We turn on that light, we can see what's really going on. So ask yourself, okay, if I do boot this ground ball, what is going to happen? Okay, coach isn't going to hate me. What is going to happen? Okay, maybe coach is pissed off for the rest of the day, or maybe he's upset, and maybe you do lose some trust temporarily, but you can always build that back, right? You can always play better. You can always make a really good play to make up for it. There's always things that we can do to make up for that. Let's say maybe a college coach is there and you make an error. They want to see how you respond in those moments. Okay, errors are going to happen, mistakes are going to happen. They want to see if you have a good attitude and you move forward, or if you let that one error totally cripple you, because that's telling them way more than that one play ever would. So number 2, shrink the story. Try to answer these questions and say, okay, what would actually happen if this did happen? Okay, and that brings us to number 3, which is shift the task. Right? Because, okay, your mind has shrunk the story down to these hypotheticals, but we're still thinking about hypotheticals. You need to ask yourself, okay, what is my job right now? Okay, what is my job right now? Because we're still playing. We're still in the middle of the game, right? What is my job right now? For hitters, this is seeing the ball, seeing the spin, timing. For pitchers, this is hitting your spot, breathing, allowing your body to take over, and allowing all those reps, all those practice reps to take over and just let your baseball performance just come out. That is your job right now. And when we turn off the light and we get back into the present moment, we can allow just our natural skills to come out. So to recap, you spot the shadow. You notice yourself thinking negative things. You do this through these 3 questions. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If you say no for any of those, that is a shadow. That is a big time shadow. 2, shrink the shadow down. Okay, shrink the story. Challenge yourself. Challenge the way that you're seeing it. And then lastly, shift the task. Shift back to the present moment. Ask yourself, what is my job right now? Find a couple action steps that you can take right now to play better baseball. Okay, so to wrap up here, the big takeaways from this video: fear of failure. It all comes down to that illusion gap, right? We are trying to shorten the gap between what is in our head and what is real. If we can shrink that down so that our thoughts and what is in our head is the closest thing to the possible objective truth that is going to take away all the scariness, all of the power, all of these catastrophic negative things that we're thinking. They aren't real. They're just figments. They're just tiny little pieces of what could happen. And what else could happen is a really good result. You could play really well. That's just as likely as these make-believe negative things. The next is that fear of failure and yips. I'm gonna say fear of failure, that's FOOF, or the yips. It's these loops, right? And to get it to stop, you need to get off of the loop. We need to stop the loop from happening, because if you just keep going in that circle, that negative thought, body reaction, tight actions, bad results, it's really hard to get off of that once you're on it, but we need to stop it. And how do we stop it? With the 3-step framework. Turn on the light. Turn on the light, see that nothing is actually there, see that it's all just make-believe, just your mind running wild. The 3 steps again: spot the shadow, build that awareness, ask yourself those 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it helpful? Shrink the story down. Ask yourself, okay, what will happen? And then finally, bring your attention back to the present moment, back to what's going on, back to what your action steps need to be to play the best baseball. If you do all of these things, you will still fail sometimes. That's the sport that we play. But this is giving you the best possible chance to play well. And it's going to make you more comfortable. You're not going to have this huge fear. And you're going to be more accepting of mistakes. And when those happen, hopefully you're able to move on quicker. If you guys liked this video, if this helped you, please subscribe to the page. Please like this video. I'll be making much more of these videos coming soon. I'll catch you in the next one.